my main topic is about how climate change affects population health. So this is overall diagram about direct and indirect impact of climate change on population health. Here we can see this direct impact from extreme heat, extreme events to human health. And in addition to that, physical systems impact from climate change like ice, rivers, and biological seasonal cycles. So all these physical and biological seasonal cycle changes might impact on economic infrastructures, output, and growth, which once again might have impact on population health. In terms of impact on population health, during the extreme hot days of climate change, they might increase injuries, deaths, thermal stress, impact on transmission of communicable disease, malnutrition, mental health issues, conflict, drugs, etc. So that is the overall pictures. The heat health impact in a warm climate, which has been done by my research group in the past couple of years. So this is the mechanism for that. So the increase in mean temperature might result in more hot weather, and these hot conditions, if our body mechanism is not able to adjust it, it might bring some issues like heat stress, heat exhaustion, and heat strokes. And it will be varied in different age groups. So that's why I said risk factors for heat-related illness is varied in age, in chronic conditions, whether you have chronic disease or not, whether you are taking medications or not, whether you work outdoors or no access to aircon, and some social and behavior factors. So our research for past couple of years, we have done the health effect heat waves in Adelaide from 1993 to 2006. So this is worked together with Dr. Monica Rissik and from SA Health. So we use our definitions, that is 3 more consecutive days with maximum temperature over 35 degrees. I understand neuroimmunology might have different definition for that. But using this definition, our research shows there's an increase of the daily hospital admissions of 7%. Among this 7% increase in the hospital admissions, there was 13% increase of the renal admissions and 7% mental disorders and 8% for heart disease. Also, it has increased the emergency department admissions, which is 4%, and increased the ambulance call out of 4%, which might create more jobs for emergency department staff and ambulances. The mental disability disorders relative mortality increased 2.6 times over this period of time. In the extreme 2009 heat waves in South Australia and Victoria, we find in Adelaide, in the 2009 heat waves, we have 6 consecutive days over maximum temperature over 40 degrees. The highest reached nearly 47 degrees. The increased mortality in the age of 15 to 64 age group, the directly related hospital admissions increased 14 times, and ambulance call out increased by 16%, which created an extreme high job for the ambulance staff. In Victoria, there was 3 consecutive days over 43 degrees, and which nearly 400 days attributed to the heat waves. And there was a black Saturday afterwards, because 173 people died. So for the past couple of years, we also conduct a lot of works in different areas targeting for the climate change adaptation for different subgroups. One work we have done is we studied the impact of extreme heat exposure to the work's health. For those who work outside during the holidays, there has been an increase of work-related injuries. And there is association between foodborne disease, especially salmonella, and heat waves. We also conduct the risk assessment for the major cities in Australia, which including Perth, Brisbane, Adelaide. We found there's a positive association between the maximum temperature and increase of mortality or morbidity in these major cities. And we also conduct some adaptation strategy research. Also targeting on the most vulnerable populations. One is the aging population. And another group we are targeting at the moment, which is funded by the IRC project, is targeting for the rural communities in South Australia to see what do they need, what kind of healthcare do they need during the very hot days. And we also had investigation among the general community about their ideas and what they think are the barriers for the climate change adaptation. And another group is the cold community. We have 1 in 4 people in South Australia who were born overseas, what they need in terms of climate change adaptation. So that was we have done for past couple of years. So in conclusion, climate change will likely impact the negative of population health. The risk reduction will involve adaptation, preventive measurements, risk communication, and resilience building. So the research needs to be continued to identify and inform these most vulnerable groups about prevention measurements and adaptation strategies.